Greetings, I'm Jonathan Alexander from the University of California, Irvine, and I'm very happy to introduce to you a special print-to-screen edition of the Computers and Composition online journal. This special print-to-screen edition is designed to coincide with the print publication of the journal Computers and Composition. I've recently guest edited an issue on media convergence. And as I sifted through the various texts that I had received and worked with the authors, I discovered that it's one thing to talk in print about what media convergence is and how it impacts pedagogy, theories of literacy, critical thinking, etc. It's a whole other thing to actually experience a media convergent text. So I contacted Chris Blair, the editor of Computers and Composition Online, and asked if some authors from the print version and some additional authors as well could design some media convergent texts for publication on the web in CNC Online. And Chris was delighted at the prospect. So this print-to-screen edition of CNC Online is designed to interact with, theoretically, pedagogically, and textually with the print version of Computers and Composition. You can read a lot about what media convergence is, both in the web texts in CNC Online and in the special issue of CNC on media convergence. But instead of hearing more about me, since I've collected these pieces and written the introduction, what I'd like to do is invite Dr. Elizabeth Losh, also from the University of California, Irvine, to talk briefly about what media convergence is and about some of the connections she sees between media convergence, student literacy, and the pedagogical enterprise of teaching writing.
The challenge to us as teachers is figuring out how we can foster the best possible communities of practice.
Texts that take advantage of distributed networks or multimedia platforms often put student writing much more obviously into the public sphere. When students create web pages about particular issues or write blogs that explore a topic over time, the audiences they reach may go far beyond the composition classroom. Unlike a static billboard, these texts are interactive and can express many different identity positions. When we say student writing, we may be talking about a wide variety of composition practices and discursive objects that may seem different from the traditional essay form. Some of this writing may express new graphic sensibilities about print and the page. Some of this writing may integrate images or video clips as part of its presentation strategy. Some of this writing may use social networks and online communities to get its message across. Sometimes these texts use music in order to make persuasive claims.
Our students have to learn a whole new set of literacies as they're learning to use these multimedia tools. That means that we have to mentor them in new ways, but not only mentor them, participate with them, have interchanges, and also learn with them, and sometimes learn from them.
It's an exciting time when we can experiment with different kinds of identities.
As Liz suggested, there are a lot of ways in which students and faculty as well can interact with media convergent texts, both in terms of reading them, but also in terms of producing them. As you read through the web text in this special print-to-screen version of Computers and Composition Online, you're going to see that our scholars who have contributed web texts deal with a lot of the issues that Liz has mentioned, such as trying to create a space for scholarly work that is media convergent, that uses multimodal, multimedia formats to actually talk about scholarly and creative processes. But we'll also see texts that deal with connections between media convergence and the writing process, and how the production of media convergent texts aids students' understanding of complicated writing processes. And finally, we'll also see ways in which writers, thinkers, authors, composers are trying to understand how we can use multimodality and media convergence to represent multiculturalism and multicultural identities in more complex and sophisticated ways. All of which is to say that media convergence allows us not only to compose, perhaps in more capacious ways, but also to learn about the composing process in more vibrant and functional ways. Enjoy.